Hi y'all, it's Fragiles here again today with another tutorial. Today I will be teaching you how to make a CVVC UTAU voice bank. This was requested by sub, so this one's for y'all. As per the poll, we're using classic UTAU, not openUTAU. We're going to be recording using Oremo, and we're going to be Oto or configuring using SetParam. I may or may not include alternatives in the description for Mac users, but I will not be using openUTAU, so keep that in mind. It still works though. CVC is a little bit different than VCV, and I'm gonna go through a lot of shortcuts and take a lot of liberties, but it should still sound pretty good. So let's start. We're gonna start by opening our file. We're gonna make a voice bank folder. So you're just gonna go find an area. I have an area here. It's called my unfinished voice banks. You're gonna make a folder. This folder, give it the name of what you want to name your UTAU. I don't really have any name in particular. I'm just gonna name it. We're just gonna name it Winter, just for fun, right? There. Now it show up there. My UTAU, my new CVVC UTAU will be named Winter. If you click into it, Winter has nothing. We're gonna fill this in though. So there's this folder I'm gonna be linking. It's called the CVVC tutorial stuff. There's gonna be a few stuff in it. It's gonna have like 4 things: an Oremo comment file. This is important if you cannot read hiragana katakana, which I'm about to be using today, and this is gonna help a lot. An Oto, this is a base Oto, and 2 versions of the Reclists. So this is expanded one. This is Salem Wastelands 8 Mora CVVC Reclist, and this one is basically the JP version of that with a little bit of extras that I put together. So I'm going to be using this, but as I said before, since we already made the voice bank folder, we're going to officially, once you get it and extract it, you're going to look for this thing called Oremo comment. You're going to copy it. You're going to go into your voice bank. I have Winter right here. We just made it. And then we're going to paste the comment file in there. And you don't have to do anything else with this, okay? That's done. This will help you in Oremo during recording. And once you're done, now you can go off to record. So we're gonna open Oremo. And Oremo right now is asking me for an utterance type list. You may or may not see this window pop up. If you don't see it pop up, it doesn't matter. This is basically just talking about voice colors, voice styles, appends, things like bright, dark, sunny, or weird, right? That's basically what it's asking. We're making a mono pitch, so we're not going to worry about that today. And then there it is. So here's the Oremo's main screen, right? I have our Reclists here and our folder here. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your recording folder is set to whatever you made. Right now it's set to spring. That is not the name of the voice bank folder I just made. The voice bank folder I made is winter. So we're going to click on this down here. And we're going to find that voice bank folder we just made. So I'm going to go here. Oh, there's winter. I'm going to double click it and then select folder. And then once you make sure that your thing is collected, like winter is here, then you're good. Next thing you want to do is make sure that your Reclist is correct. I already have it set with everything the Oremo commented file, but in case that it doesn't show up, you're going to click File. You're going to go to Voice List. Voice List is just another way to say Reclist. And then you're going to find it. If you can't find it, it's in the folder I call CVC tutorial stuff, okay? It's gonna be here. The one I'm using today is the expand and JP mod. It looks like this, okay? It's like long and whatever. And then you have like the English version, which doesn't have the modded stuff. But yeah, we're gonna pick this, expand and JP mod, open. And it's gonna look like this. Thanks to the comment file, you now not only see like the entire voice bank is written in like hiragana katakana, but now you have like an English lettering interface that you can just read off of this, and that would essentially make the same thing. It makes it easier. And now, after like all these are checked, you're gonna go into options. You're gonna check the recording style, okay? You're gonna recording style. This will tell you how you want to record. There's 3 different things. I would not recommend the first one. I would either recommend the second one, which is like a manual record line by line, or the third one, which is record everything at once and never stop. Try not to pick the third one unless you are absolutely confident that you have amazing vocal that can last like a long time. I don't expect this tutorial to take more than like 20 minutes of recording. But yeah, I'm tired. So we're gonna pick the second one. We're gonna manually do it. And I'm actually gonna record the entire thing so you can hear it. And then here's when the R key is pressed, it plays the guide music once. The guide music is the GuideBGM. What is the GuideBGM? It's the song that plays to keep you on beat, whatever. Where do you find this? Is down here. This is the one I have selected. It's on E4 right now, but if you don't know, you can click on it and then you could go find it. Salem has their own GuideBGM. Very useful. Since we're doing it 8 Mora, we're gonna follow Salem's 8 beats. I will be linking that too. And you're just gonna run through and find like a pitch that suits your vocal range. I suggest if you're barely starting, just pick one at like your normal range. Don't go too high and don't go too soft. So I could probably do 8-3. This is my classic one. I like this. So I have it selected for 8-3. If you see here, it's now 8-3. It's pretty fast at 120 beats, but this should make the process go faster. So I'll play it so you hear what it sounds like. So that's the music that I'm gonna use to help me stay on beat and like not go out of line. This is really important when recording, that you want to be as like in beat as possible, so that when you get to the Oto part, it's less of a hassle to deal with. Now that you set that, right, you're gonna start recording, and the way that I picked it is I click the R key once, like I tap it once, and then I'll play the little short section above and I can start recording. Alright, so y'all can skip ahead, but I'm gonna be recording this from start to end, and it's gonna be a little annoying and redundant, but I mean, if you want to hear and listen how it's even made, then yeah, stay. Otherwise, you could just skip to the part where I finish, which I will be putting in a timestamp. So let's start. We're gonna click the R key one time, and then it's gonna play a little bit of tune, and we're gonna record, okay? We're also going to set this really quick, but I'm gonna go options, advanced settings. I have an A3 pitch right now, so I'm gonna click change this really quick. Apply. If you don't know what this is, it's just a thing from the VCV tutorial, but it shouldn't be too problematic. So now it's good. Now it should show up and should give me an indicator. So I'm gonna be reading this. I'm too tired, so I'm just gonna be reading this line, which is the exact same thing, but it's easier for me to read, so here we go. Fantastic. There's our first line. You could click spacebar to play through it again. Gaki guge gogan gak. Try not to rush it too much. The more patience you have, and remember to keep water with you. So I'm gonna go through. Have fun. sounds a little weird. I think. Okay. I might record that. Okay, this one's a little different. I'm gonna keep. I did the other original R's as like a D sound. This one will be like a straight L sound. This one's is also different. I count this one as like a rolled R. Teeth. That. This. Thud. The. Oh, it's more like a thud, huh? Well, it's fine. We're skills, so you use this one anyways. This one's a heavier F. This one is like R as in like rapper, like the actual English R. Now we're at to the vowels part, and this one is read like VCV. So you don't want, just because you see the dashes doesn't mean you're gonna read it like e, no. You're gonna read it like like that, connected, okay? It's okay if you hear like an extra B at the end. That doesn't matter. Okay, so the last part I put that I modded onto Salem's list is areas for just breathing. They're kind of unnecessary, but I'm just gonna add them just for the fun of it, you know? So this is ABR, AR. Every time you see like a letter, an R, that usually means like an exhale, which is like exhale, breathe out, okay? BR sometimes can be breathe in, but right now this is gonna look like ABR, which means like it's gonna be like breathe out, breathe in. It's like like that. Okay, so I'll record. I'll show you simple. Now you could extend the BR to sound longer, but I'm just gonna make it short because yeah. I'm super off tune. But you know what? We could always re-record later. My mic is gonna pick this up terribly, but usually I find that people with like whatever mics or like lesser quality mics. I don't even know if that counts. Usually you have a better time recording these. And that about wraps it all. That should be the final of it. Yeah, it only took about like 10 minutes or less. I wouldn't know. It's been going on. It's about less, and I was taking my time with it too. I didn't even do continuous. So now that we got everything, and do make sure that everything was recorded on like the blank slate if you have one. It might, sometimes you might see a thing with arrows, but it shouldn't. Blank slate, everything has a recording. If it follows the pitch, that's great. If it doesn't, that's fine. We're just gonna shortcut things, right? We're gonna save it. Usually it's not this button. We're gonna do like hold Control and click S, and that should save it. We're just gonna exit. Now what we want to do is we have a base Oto for Winter's voice bank. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna have it in here, CVC tutorial stuff. As you can see, I do have a base Oto. This is for the JP version. I do have one for like the short expanded list for English, but I won't be linking that. So here it is. Converted it all. We're gonna be using that. So we take this, we copy it. Gonna go to Winter. We're gonna paste it in here. And this too shall make our lives a lot easier when dealing with SetParam. So now that we're done here, we can go open up SetParam. We have here SetParam. Gonna click on it. It's gonna ask for the recording folder. The recording folder is basically whatever it is. So I have my finished voice banks. Winter. Double click. Select folder. It's gonna ask load voice configuration file. We already put in a base Oto, so we can load it. See? We click load, and if it doesn't show up here, it should show up like your folder, and then you should see this Oto file. If it doesn't, try to find your folder, and then once you see the Oto file, click open. There. So it should look like this. If it's empty, then somewhere along the line you may have screwed up. Still fixable, but here. I'm just gonna delete all that in the background. I'm gonna hide this too. Now that we have this, we have our entire Oto configuration, and CVC, as even though I could cut it short, it's got a lot going on. So I'll try to show a little bit of everything, but I won't go through everything, if that makes sense. The one thing we're gonna want to start with right now is we're gonna start with everything vowels related. So as you see, these are the vowels. Anything that starts with like a consonant, like this is technically a bia, bia, b, that starts with a B. We won't be doing that right away. We'll start with the vowels. Vowels will be run like VCV, but thanks to base Oto, most of this is already set up for you. I went and did pretty much almost all of them as best as I could. If you did the recording well and on time, then it should be pretty aligned. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna zoom out a bit. We're gonna start. Hold the left thing here to move it around. And so we want, like VCV for the vowels, we want the pre-utterance to be at the start of whatever vowel this is. This is ah, okay? This sound right here, that is ah. See, I can play it. So we don't want it to be out here, we want it to be right there, up against there. You can even put it in here if you want to, but I'm gonna put it against here, so it's gonna sound like this. There. One note done. This is dash ah. The next one is ah. Okay? It could be anywhere between these sounds. This is ah, and this part is e. Ah, ah, e. Right there. Ah, ah, e. Okay? You want the ah sound, so it's anywhere in this section. It doesn't really matter where you put this one. Done. Ah-e. As I said before, you want the red line, the pre-utterance, to be at the start of that E sound. As you see here, it goes from here and it shifts to a higher point. You can guesstimate. I'm assuming that it's starting kind of right there, so I'm gonna put the pre-utterance there. The overlap, you don't have to worry about it right now, but try not to move the overlap. The overlap will be like in the midway point between these two. The overlap's in between there or a little bit to the left. That's the general rule. The right blank, you never want the right blank like way outside the vowel. You want the right blank inside whatever this note is. This is E, right? So this is, the right blink is an E sound. Do not put it out here. Do not put it all the way in there, okay? You're gonna have it into the sound. That's what it should sound like. So now you have okay? The pre-utterance, you're gonna put it here at the start of what you think the sound is. This is the E sound, and it goes back down to right? That's how it sounds. Right blink is in, the overlap is on there, the consonant, and don't worry about it. Oh, then you're gonna keep doing this. I don't know where it starts though. It's probably somewhere in there. This is where I'm hearing it start, weirdly enough, but I just want it like that. Good enough! You can't really see it, but I'm assuming this point right here, to me, where it shifts up is where the sound is, so. Right blank is still within that reddish portion. This gets a little harder, so sometimes I zoom out. I'm assuming the halfway point between here and here is like where this ever so slightly shifts up. I'm just gonna put my right blank in there. Perfect. Once it's done, right? I like making marks here to show that it's done. That's how you do the vowels, okay? I'll show you how to do another vowel. There's another vowel, A, E, I, O, U's, but there's another one that's an N, okay? I know it sounds weird, but N's matter. Like here, this one. If you see these lines right there, that too counts as a vowel. You're gonna treat it the same way. The N sound, you're gonna treat it like a vowel. You put the pre-utterance at the start of the sound. Next. This is a you're gonna put it somewhere in the middle there, and wherever you think the other n starts. This is as you can see here, this is and then this huge block is the sound. So I'm gonna put the pre-utterance right there where the sound, the main sound starts. Same goes, pre-utterance starts this, the right blink is inside and not crossing on another block. Left blink is there, perfect. There we go. So you see how it trails down? If you have the right blink, try not to have all that in there. Just to have it like there where it's like kind of stable. Once I'm done with that, this too is done. I'm saving as I go, which is Control S, so I don't lose my progress, okay? Alright, that is basically the gist of vowels. We're gonna show you, we're gonna cut straight to actually the main part. So here's ba, bi, bu, be, bo, okay? This won't look good. I'll find an easier example. Let's find the K's. Can't go wrong with K's. Here's a K. Here's all my K's, excluding these because these are KYs. I'll show that in a bit here. We're gonna start with AK. So for these is what I call VCs, or vowel consonant, as you see here. A vowel. K, a consonant. Okay, VCs. If you see these, this would be like a consonant vowel. Ki, which spelled out as KI. That's consonant first, then vowel later. Okay. So for VCs, the way I find it the best, and don't quote me on this, but I'm only doing it, is you want the pre-utterance, it's gonna be like completely backwards. The pre-utterance to actually be at like the very end of like that first sound. So if this sound is basically ga, this is ka, okay? Ga, ki, ku, ke, ko, like that. Ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, okay? You want the pre-utterance to be at the end of ka, which has that sound. You want the right blink to be as like extended in here. You do not want the right blink to take any part of the next sound. Okay, I know it sounds weird. I know it says ak, and you might think, oh, but I wanna carry the K sound to. No. This is just purely transitional. Don't do that. So make sure the overlap is where it is. Usually don't touch the overlap if you don't have to. Pre-utterance is at the end of that vowel sound. The right blank is like kinda there, like it's like right before the next sound starts, and the consonant's in the middle of all that. So this is eek. Remember, pre-utterance, pre-utterance, pre-utterance at the end of the sound. Right blank just before the sound. Does not take any part of the sound, okay? Like it's pushed before. I can zoom in just so you see. It does not touch that part. See, I don't touch any of that. There will be weirder circumstances, but for now, for these really easy to see ones with a huge blank empty gaps, you don't need to worry about that. Next, ook. Right blank, right blank, right blank, right blank. These are for VCs. Pre-utterance at the end of that sound. The right blank is touching it, so you're just gonna move it over where it doesn't. The consonant, it's mostly in the middle. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Ek. You're gonna move it here. The right blank is already there, and you could move it over just a bit, or you could just leave it where it is if it's already fine. Don't need to touch it, okay? If nothing is broken, don't touch it. Up. Pre-utterance at the end of the sound, wherever you think. It doesn't have to be at like the exact end. I say where most of the lines mostly end. That's personally for me. The right blank is too far, so you're gonna move it in. Consonant, it's still pretty much in the middle. Okay. Now I have no clue where the end sound really ends, so we're just going to assume it ends somewhere, okay? Like anywhere you see this blue is probably the end sound. Pre-utterance is somewhere at the end of that. The right blank is not crossing that line, and the consonant's there. Done. This is how you do VCs, okay? So we're done with that. We're gonna save. We're gonna do some few more VCs before I teach you how to do things like CVs. So let's see. Let's get one that's like ungodly difficult. Let's get like an S. Here. Here's the S. Oh, here's a fun one too. Here's a starting S sound. So you'll see sometimes a dash, and this will sometimes be used for like words that like are like s, where they just have that. Good for foreign words, not really used in JP. I like to do it the way VC is done. So basically pre-utterance when you see a dash consonant, okay? Pre-utterance is like at the start of whatever that sound. This is the S sound, E, okay? The right blank is gonna be at the end of it. The consonant could be about the middle of it or more to the left, close to the pre-utterance. That's it. That's all you do. Done. Okay? Back to the VCs. Remember what I told you for VCs, okay? You want the pre-utterance or the red line to be at the end of the vowel. That sound right here, at the end of here, okay? Now you think, oh yeah? Where's the empty space? How am I supposed to read this? Right, okay. We're gonna have to really zoom in for this one. You're gonna move the consonant really close, and you're gonna take the right blank and you're gonna put it as close as possible. You're trying not to like take as much as like the next consonant sound. So this is sa, S-C, right? Sa, si, su. This is S-A. S-E, okay? You're gonna take the pre-utterance, put it at the end. You know, I could push it over a bit. And the S sound doesn't really start that soon. Maybe you could hear, but I would rather not clip it. Do not have the consonant and the right blank touch. I have heard it crashes programs. So don't do it, okay? Fix the right blank first, wherever you think like as much as you can, and not include the other consonant sound, and then the consonant in the middle. Done. East, right? We're gonna zoom out for this one. We're gonna put the right blank, I don't know, man, like the pre-utterance, usually at the end of the vowel. You might think it's here, but if you give yourself some leeway, you could push it back a little more. Consonant is somewhere in there, and the right blank, try to get as much of the other consonant out. Done. This. Right blank somewhere in there. Consonant close by in the center of this. Consonant is in the middle. Right blank is right there. Pre-utterance is at the end of the vowel. Pre-utterance, pre-utterance, pre-utterance. I know it looks like it's right here, but I'm just gonna move it back one more. And then consonant. And then right blank. Done. You're gonna do these, okay? These is for the ones you really can't see. And yes, you can zoom in. How am I zooming in? I'm holding control and I'm pushing my scroll wheel up. There. It's gonna look really small, so you'll have to zoom in for some of these. NS. NS, like honestly, this one looks more normal. Pre-utterance somewhere in there. Consonant. The right blank. I know this looks like it's part of it, but honestly, it won't sound. So just take out the most of it. Done. We'll do one more, and then I'll move on to CVs. We'll do something interesting. Something all the way down here. Let's do like an NG sound. I think that would be fun. If I could find one. Here. We'll do V's. So remember when I said this is a dash V, okay? If the dash comes before, then you're just gonna think of like it's starting the sentence like v. You just want the v sound, right? At the start. You're gonna put the preiterants where you think it starts, the right blank where you think most of this is not here, and the consonant is somewhere in between. Like that. Don't touch the overlap. Of right here. It looks more noticeable now. It's like, so you're just gonna put it preiterants at the end. You could shove it in if you want. I'm just gonna put where I kind of think it looks. Looks fine. The right blank doesn't cross over consonants in the center. Move on. E, kind of at the center. Right blank just cross over. Done. This is like the shortcut method. You could fine tune it a little later, but this should be functional for you. I'm gonna scooch the right blank over, just for fun. E. This might be a V sound, so I'm trying not to include it. This usually, I'm gonna end it right here. Right blank, consonant. One more, this is V. As long as you think where it end sounds, and I think it ends like kind of right there. Who knows what this is? This doesn't matter. Right blank doesn't necessarily cross over anything, and consonant is done. Done. And there is a secret note where the dash comes after, okay? When you see a dash come after, this is like the ending note, kind of like a word that ends, it's like have, okay? The word I have something, you don't want it to say I have something, okay? You just want to say I have. This is where this comes in. So you're gonna put the preiterants at the start of that V sound. This is V. It works like how you would Oto, like a VCV breath. So don't put it at the end of this, put it at the start of this. V. You're gonna have your right blank double this size, so if this is 1, you're gonna like 2. 1, 2. And consonant will be between, in this blank space between the end of it and the right blank. Done. That is how you do the VC. Oops. Save. Okay, now moving on, I'm gonna show you how to do CVs. So we're gonna do like the same letters, okay? We're gonna do the same letters. So I started with the K's because the K's are the easiest to understand. CVs will look like this. They will look like Japanese letterings. It's this ki, starts with the consonant C and it ends with the vowel V. Gotcha? It sounds like a key. So when you do this, you want only the key, like the K sound. You don't want to make it like VCV. VCV would be like aki, eki, oki. This one literally says key. You're gonna do it like CV. It only says key. You will only have key. So you're gonna make sure this left blank, right, does not encompass. It's like almost reverse. Does not encompass any of the previous note. Okay. You can put it as close as possible, but it doesn't encompass. The next thing you worry about is like is the preiterants. You worry about the left blank or preiterants the most in this, but since left blank is not really anywhere particular, you're gonna worry about the preiterants. So you're gonna move it around so where the red line is the start of the vowel. Ki, ki. See, this is ka. If you see here, this is ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. And here I have ka. This entire thing is ka. This entire thing is ki. That entire thing is ku. This is that weird section here is the K sound of ki. And this other section is the E sound of ki. E. K. E. Okay? Key. Hope you remember that. Your preiterant is gonna be start of the vowel, the E sound, okay? Don't put it in front of the K sound. No, 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 no. You put it after the K sound. Like between the K sound and the E sound, okay? You're gonna split them up like that. Once you split them up, you're gonna make sure the left blank doesn't cross over the other side, and you're gonna make sure the right blank is within that vowel too. The consonant can stay. This is perfect. Cool. Remember the rule. You're gonna look at you're gonna look at pre-utterance. You're gonna put pre-utterance where you think this sound is, right? But alas, the left blink is crossing over the other sound, so now you have to push it over. You push it over. And once you do that, you realize the pre-utterance is out of line, you're just gonna move it and adjust it in. This is where the K sound is. This is where the OO sound is. The right blink is in. The left blink doesn't cross over. The pre-utterance is between the consonant vowel sounds, okay? K, oo, ku, okay? And it should sound like this. Good, good. There we go. Okay? Now we're moving on. We're gonna move faster, right? We're gonna check the pre-utterance. It looks fine, but the left blink is crossing over. So we're just gonna move this. And then we're gonna readjust the pre-utterance. Good. Perfect. Gonna move it over. Sometimes if you feel like it's too cramped, you just like automatically check for the left blink and then you move this over. Done. Overlap will always be like somewhere in the middle between left blink and pre-utterance, or a little to the left. It'll be like a halfway or like a 1/3 of it. Ga, ga. So this is the end sound, and I know you don't know where it ends, neither do I, but we're just gonna assume it ends somewhere there. We're gonna put the pre-utterance between the K sound and the vowel sound, the ah sound. Everything's fun. Ga. So these are done. Oh. It's done. Moving on to something a little harder, which is S's. We're gonna go to the CVs of S's. So S's, as you can see, not easy to read. You're gonna want to do this for S's, which look like they all meld together. See, if I could show you, this is sa, si, su, se, so. This is right here. This is where I start. Sa, that entire thing is sa. This entire thing right here is si. And this is su. This weird chunk is the S sound, the S, and this is the vowel, right? So we're on C, so this is E. S, E, C. Remember, this is CV, so we're gonna focus on the pre-utterance, but we realize that these are big and these are weird, so pre-utterance, honestly, don't focus on that. Take the left blank, you're gonna put it, since these are two are kind of touching, you're gonna put it like the very start of that sound. You're gonna take the pre-utterance, you're going to move that right here between the consonant and the vowel, the S, E. You're gonna move that there at the start of the E sound. The consonant, sorry, moved a bit. It'll be fine somewhere there. And the right blink is in. Done. Left blank at the start of this, or basically where you have space, because this one touches here and kind of ends there. I'm just gonna leave that blink there. Then you're gonna move the consonant over a bit. I need space. Pre-utterance will be between consonant sound, vowel sound. Right blink is on, correct. Consonant, and move it closer pre-utterance. Same thing here. I don't want left blink to cross over, okay? You're gonna put pre-utterance at the start of the vowel, consonant here, and there. Don't want left blink to cross over. Need some space, put the pre-utterance here, and then move the consonant back. Consonant could be halfway or like close. There we go. Bam, bam, done. There is no weirder rule for CVs. They are what they are. That's pretty much it. I will now show you the CVs with the Y letters. Like, you know, you had the K sounds with these, but now you have like KYs. These follow a similar format. A Y is a vowel, okay? It is a vowel. It makes it sound like a vowel. It sounds like a short I, like an E. This one is kya, q, ke, kyo. So K is its own consonant. Okay, K is consonant. So here we're gonna do a CV for the kya, q. This one's Q. Remember, for CV, I'm gonna put the left blank like somewhere, as long as it doesn't cross over. Like if it has like hiragana thing, that's a CV. Okay. There will be some weirder rules, but like mostly if it's just a single CV, if you know how to like Oto CV bank, this should be easy for you. You're gonna put it here. You're gonna focus on pre-utterance. I can move it over a bit. Left blank doesn't cross over. You don't need it at the very edge. You just need it as long as it doesn't cross over. Consonant, give it some space. Right blank is on. Perfect. You're gonna move it over. I don't have to worry about the left blank. I have room, so I'm just gonna look at pre-utterance. It's in between the consonant sound, the k, the e, the kie, okay? Get. E-A. Done. Kyo. K. Yo. K. Yo. It's gonna sound like that. Kyo. Yo. There we go. Done. Kya. Just gonna move it over. I know it looks like there's that thing. That's like minuscule. They won't even notice that. Nobody will notice that. Kya. Kya. Perfect. Now we have that. Resave. And this, if you keep going on and doing all of them following this pattern, you will eventually auto the entire thing. It's a bit daunting, but it's possible. I will now move on to show you how to do the breathing. The breathing will be done in a way similar to, if I can find it, to VCV. So over here it is. You'll have these things like here's the breath. These are the breath notes. Inhale, exhale, breathe in stuff, and then exhale. If you see BR or anything that ends with a BR or anything that ends with like a capital R, these are the breathing notes. Okay, they'll be like short like that. So for BR, what you want to do is, so you look at it. Let me show you. This is this is the exhale part. This is a sharp inhale. Like that. Okay, that's BR. You're going to want to have the pre-utterance start at the exhale part. So I have no idea what this starts, so I'm just gonna assume it's right there. You're going to have the right blank as far as possible without touching the other side. And the consonant will just be like, right there. Like that. Sound good? Perfect. Then for this one, this will be like similar. You're gonna have the pre-utterance here. Make sure the overlap is within the previous note, because if it's like kind of hanging out in an area that doesn't have a vowel sound, it's gonna be weird. You're gonna make sure the right blank is like double the size of whatever this is. So this is 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. The consonant will be like in this empty space, and it's gonna be like close to the right blank. So E, I'll show you the BR one again. BR, pre-utterance at the start of that exhale, right blank as far as possible, consonant somewhere in the center. The IR, which is E, like an exhale like that. E, you want it to be there where the start is. Make sure the overlap is still within a stable area, or like where you can see a lot of the color. The right blank is double the size, and then the consonant is just somewhere in there. Done. And this should be pretty much everything to Oto for like whatever I just picked up for y'all. We're gonna save that. We're gonna exit, and we are going to test this in UTAU, because the best way to know is to test it. In UTAU, classic UTAU I have here. We can open up a thing, but I think I'm just gonna make it myself. So we're gonna choose a voice bank. We're gonna choose, here's winter, so I like unfinished. Here's winter, I double click. This is what I've done. The Oto's in there too. It's like half recorded, but that's okay. We're not worried about that. And then we're going to make some notes, right? People can add notes manually like this, but personally I prefer to just straight type in the lyrics. So you would do like we did the K's and the S, right? So we could do cook, kasa, ka, ko. I don't know what that means. We're just gonna put that there, and then we're gonna click pink to suddenly send in the notes. Okay. If you have a tool for it, UTAU usually doesn't do auto CVVC, but there will be a plugin called auto CVVC 2. This tool is pretty helpful. The problem is it really only does it if your thing is in like already in like CV. This would be CV, but I wonder if we'll do it. There we go. It turns CV into CVVC. So winter has not. If you look in tools and voice banks, you'll see all your things here and all the Oto you've been working on. If you see the ones that are weird, see, I worked on this. I worked on the S's, I showed you, and then I worked on some K's. They haven't like generated frequencies, and that's kind of important, but by playing it through a UST, you'll generate it, and once you generate it, you won't have to do it a second time. Yeah. See, it plays. Fantastic. That one plays. Now we'll see if Sa plays. Sa, right? And right now it's kind of terrible, but if you zoom in, you'll see these these little mini notes. This one is as. These are transitions, okay? These are the ones where these are the VCs, vowel consonants. Transition from one CV letter to the next. They're important. So we're just gonna take all and we're just gonna render it. It sounds bad, but now that we've generated the frequencies for it, we could, let me show you. I'll select all, right click, region property. You're gonna clear the pre-utterance, you're gonna clear the SDP, you're gonna click. The consonant velocity is something interesting that you'll deal with. Depending on how you do it, you can make the consonant go faster or shorter for fast songs and like slow songs. That's not rude, but yeah. Click OK, reset, P2P3, ACPT. You could see it's like that, or like this. I'm gonna show you like this, but to see the letters, we'll show. Okay. So it's gonna be like that. If you become really good at it, like this, you start the whole fun of like CVVC is being able to be like modify the UST really well, so your voice bank says it well. Which means like this is currently at a really small length, so I'm gonna make this 120, which might be too big. I might have accidentally typed in an extra 0. 120. There we go. I'm gonna make this one also 120. What does this mean? This is basically timing, and UTAU uses the links as determined things. So if you have 480, that's equal to a whole note or a quarter note. If you know music, this will make sense. If you don't, it won't affect you. So I'm just gonna make this 240. You want the transitions to usually be a little smaller though, so. Well, that's if I could type. Like that. Remember, when you move things around, you have to fix the parameters. And that's pretty much it, really. The same thing goes if you Oto and UTAU. You go to Tools, Voice Bank Settings. You could change the Oto directly from here. Like if we had a K and we didn't like it, we click on it. This is the K sound. We click Launch Editor. And it'll show you the Oto interface. It's the same thing. So remember, red line's pre-utterance. Green line is overlap. This is the left blank. That's the right blank. And here's the pink thing is showing the entire consonant that will be played, okay? If you can't see it, you could zoom out. And I'll show you the area. And if you want to hear it, double click this P. There, and it'll sound out what part. Yeah. So I will now show you what a pretty much completely Oto'd CVVC voice bank is that I made like a while back, just for this tutorial. But we'll open a UST. Here we could do we could do something. I'll show you from start to end how I usually go about this. I go into UST. We'll do something fun. Don't know what. You know what we could do? Here, horny. All vocals. Use your voice bank. Open. Make sure your voice bank is there. Click save. This is currently a UST that I wrote, but it's in VCV, so we're gonna select everything using Control A. Tools, plugins, Auto CVVC. Actually no. First we have to convert it to CV, because this plugin is kind of annoying. I'm using Eero, convert CVC to VC, convert. Done. It's all in CV now, but that's still not what you're looking for. Now we use this plugin to CV to CVVC. Submit. There. Once it's all done, you're gonna right click, make sure you still select the region property, clear the parameters. Constant velocity, you don't gotta worry about that right now. But I'm just gonna delete it just for the fun of it. Okay. You see these errors? You can solve that. You're gonna reset P2, P3, ACPT. Right? And Winter will not play everything right now, but that's why I'm gonna show you with a different voice bank. So completed one would be here. We'll have tempo. Tempo is a bi-pitch voice bank that I made for fun. It works at a lower. So I only configured one, so I'll just show you that one. Here. If everything works out, and then I gotta do this again for tempo. Reset P2, P3. We're gonna play a section, okay? It should sound about as smooth as that, if not better, okay? And that's just shortcutting everything. That's as simple as it can make it and still make it sound really good. It's gonna, if you're like used to VCB, it will still sound choppy, but as long as you layer it over music, you will not hear that and most people will not know. So, yeah, that's about it. Have fun, y'all. I wonder how Winter sounds straight out of the box. Surely can't beat that bad. Okay. This is for the curious people like me. Not bad. That's pretty much openUTAU too. Damn, it's kind of smooth.